Hello there, beautiful people. It is Jen here from Science to Sell Tarot, and this is my second video I'm doing for today, and it's another VR response to On the Cusp Tarot that I've just watched a bunch of other people do it, and I thought, what a great one to do. So doing the My First Tarot one, because I thought I haven't actually spoken about my introduction to tarot yet, and again, what a great way to do that. So incorporate a little bit about my history with it, as well as my first tarot in this VR response. This video response. I don't have an exact time frame to go by. My memory is shocking when it comes to this. So I was brought up as a Catholic, not hugely strictly so. I did do my 12 years of schooling at Catholic school. My dad grew up in a very, very Catholic home, and as a result, I think there was a story about like one of the priests or something from his church would actually visit one of his neighbours or something. So he got really upset by the hypocrisy going on of what the priest would be saying in church versus, you know, the priest then going to the neighbour's house drinking. I don't know, there was some story like that that really kind of turned my dad off. So I think when I was little, like a really little girl, I think we attended church regularly, like, you know, did the Sunday church thing. But yeah, that definitely didn't last too long because I don't have huge memories of it. Obviously, we did the church thing, being in a Catholic school, and certain times you have to go to church, blah, blah, blah. But then I had an auntie, so my mum's sister was very much into the New Age stuff. And so because we'd visit this particular aunt and her family quite a bit, we'd end up going to like spiritual fairs with her and have tarot readings and that kind of thing. And I know initially my mum was quite kind of scared of it, but so much of it I just loved and it intrigued me. And I don't know the age I was, but I was really young. I would have been early teenage years when I got my first tarot deck, and my first tarot deck was my beginner's tarot. I mean, how appropriate for a young teenager. And I can't remember how long ago now I found this deck again, but I did find it again, and that was wonderful that I still have my first tarot deck. And it's very much Rider-Waite, but I actually like the imagery of this more than the Rider-Waite. It's very old, it's very damaged on its sides, but yeah, it's still really beautiful. I still love it. I haven't read with it since I was very young. I probably stopped reading with it probably before I hit my 20s. But yeah, just, you know, simple images, very Rider-Waite Smith images, but actually I like the look of this better than the Rider-Waite Smith. That's just my personal preference. And I am modifying the deck because I feel it needs refreshing. So I've only done, you know, 4 cards thus far of trimming them, because I don't need to have the keywords or anything, and I think they just pop more. I'm just backing them in a plain black because the backs, you know, are very, very frayed. The edges are very frayed. So just to be able to, you know, trim them, put different backs on them, give them a fresh feel. And I sort of feel once I do that, I'd actually be happy to read with them again, as much as I've got other love decks now. Yeah, I think once they get their little once over, their makeover, I'm actually going to be really, really happy to be able to utilise them again, because they do hold a special place in my heart. Yeah, so if anyone just wants to see that video response part to my first tarot, please feel free to stop here, because I'm actually, like I said, I'm going to use this as my intro to the tarot thing. So I did explain, I got introduced to all things New Age and mystical and metaphysical by my aunt, who was into that. Got my first tarot deck. I studied it back then. I loved learning about it. I loved, reading for friends and family. That was cool. And then I got married very young to my first husband, and I had my children very young. And, so getting married, having kids, it all kind of got pushed to the side. And that's okay. And then later in life, probably around 25, was when I decided I was going to go back to uni and do my psychology degree. So if you've watched my first video, you'll know I'm a psychologist in my other life. And so doing that, not only was it too full on to act, as well as being a mum to young kids at that point, it's a degree that kind of beats the spirituality out of you. It's done very subtly, but yeah, and I lost that. I lost that spiritual side. Timing wise, I guess that's why I didn't have time to kind of utilize the tarot, that type of thing. But I definitely lost the spiritual side of me in that. And then it was only probably around halfway through last year. And halfway through last year, I was going through a very difficult time emotionally. And I posted into one of my peer groups, a very small group, so a very small, I think there was only about sort of 5 or 6 of us in this group, so a very intimate, very trustworthy group. And I put up a post saying, does anyone feel like they lost their spirituality because of their psychology training? And it was very interesting to get the responses to that, because other people did feel the same way I felt. And when I was going through this quite emotionally difficult time, I went away to a family member's holiday home, which is very close to the beach. And I went into this fabulous shop that they have there. So if anyone is in Australia, if anyone is in Bribie Island or near Bribie Island or visits Bribie Island, Mayada Bazaar is an incredible shop. And they've got everything from fabulous homeware stuff to crystals to tarot cards. And so at this point, I had not had a deck. I had not looked at a deck since, this very first My Beginner's Tarot. And I just happened to see the decks there, and there wasn't a huge range. There wasn't a huge collection of them. But there was something about them that called to me. And I kind of picked them up. I didn't think at that point in time. Now, if I'm looking for a deck, I'll Google images of it, or I'll look at half reviews of it. And the one I ended up picking up was the Crystal Visions Tarot. And I love that deck. That deck has a glorious place in my heart. I feel like it reads so easily for me. And so I got that, and I spent a little bit of time with it. And then, I don't know why, but that kind of went on the back burner too. I think, again, because I was still going through a lot of emotional stuff. Personally, rearranging my business, all those kinds of things, just not having the time, not having the headspace. And it wasn't really until it was either late last year or early this year, I actually had a reading done by a medium who also uses tarot as part of her work. And she actually said to me, do I have a deck? And I should start using it again. And that was it. From that point on is when I started to look stuff up on YouTube, find all the fabulous people who are a part of the tarot community on YouTube and just start to get right into the study of tarot. And I love that. I love learning new things. I'm a very all or nothing person. So when I have a focus on something, I'm like 100% focused on that, which is both a good thing and a really, really bad thing when it comes to balance. But yeah, threw myself into it, ended up with multiple decks, ended up finding the fabulous tarot community and following heaps of people and loving all of that. And so it might not be the most, I guess, exciting tarot story. I think it's one that will resonate with a lot of people in the sense that a lot of people that I've listened to in their YouTube uploads have really found the tarot at times of distress, at times of emotional, really like emotionally difficult things that are going on in their life. And yeah, and it was the same for me. It was always something there, I guess, at the back of my mind, but very much got put off. The spirituality aspects have always been there and back of mind. But I just got to this point last year, this breaking point of, I felt like psychology took that away from me, not blaming it. Still my own person, but yeah, so it's been like a full circle for me, going from the innocence of youth, of having just that exciting interest in something new, to then kind of getting older and going through like the responsibilities of being a parent and a partner and working and studying and all those kinds of things. And it's now come back full circle where I know that this is going to not just be something that falls by the wayside. I figured out a while ago that my spirituality is, I have my very specific practices and beliefs around my spirituality now. But yeah, I know now that this is going to be a part of me and a part of my life, and it's just brought me so much joy. It's brought me so much peace. It's been a real comfort. So not only have my tarot and oracle decks been a beautiful comfort, but the whole tarot community of people that I'm watching and listening to, just listening to them has been an incredible comfort. So yes, that was a long-winded VR response to a very simple question of what my first tarot deck was, but hey, I thought I would also use it to just explain my little tarot journey. All right, hopefully that didn't interrupt there because my battery's going low and it just notified me. I'm going to leave it at that for today, guys. Have a fabulous morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.